will focus on the ways in which I have conformed to certain elements from film posters of the neo-noir genre and how I have applied them to the construction of my own product. To begin with, I will discuss the font that I have used in my poster. Typically, a film will use the same type of font in the film trailer, poster, and often magazine cover, as the title is something that appears everywhere in all aspects of the film's marketing. The title and the font itself acts as a clear indicator of the main themes of the film, in particular the genre that the film is from, enabling the audience to identify whether it is something they'd be interested in or not. Using the same style font is very advantageous in many ways, especially in the construction of the products, as it resembles a clear house style that is demonstrated in the three aspects of my marketing campaign. This is beneficial as it enables my film to have a clear identity, and so means that the film can differentiate itself against other films that are released at the same time or from the same genre. The film itself uses the same type of font throughout all credits further shown in the film trailer, so it is an important aspect to use the same font in my poster. The film Gone Girl had a clear and distinct font that was kept simple but was used in all aspects of the film marketing. This therefore was a convention I felt was important to conform to, as it meant I could keep a professional and realistic production. My use of the font Orator was constantly used throughout my film magazine, poster and trailer, and so due to the simplicity of the font, similar to that of Gone Girl, it meant I could subtly create a juxtaposition between the font I used and the complexity of the narrative, enabling me to incorporate the neo-noir convention of a complex plot immediately into my film. Another important aspect of my film poster was the colour decisions that I made. Due to a film poster being a visual image of the film, I wanted to use the colours that added to the composition and made a better visualisation of the film. To do this, I wanted to make my film title connote the themes of the film, as my film poster utilised various colours in order to create a contrast between the female antagonist and female protagonist. I kept the colour of my text very simple, as I used predominantly white as the title colour and red as the tagline and dates that the film was going to be released on. The colour white usually contains reasonably positive connotations, as it connotes the idea of safety and purity. However, I have used it as a clear method in order to juxtapose the dark and violent themes around the narrative, as although white suggests safety, in my trailer I have resembled the idea that no one is safe as an innocent victim has been murdered. Therefore, by using white, it allows for the message to emerge in the poster, as this is something that would have been difficult to achieve due to a poster only being a non-moving image, unlike a trailer, meaning that the use of colour contrasting the dark themes surrounding the film has enabled my film poster to achieve the same purpose as my trailer, as it created an unstable feeling amongst the audience, demonstrating how my title has an active use in driving the narrative forward due to the colour chosen. Some text, like the tagline and the date of the film release, is used in the colour red. I felt that it is important to contrast the white with the red, as the red contradicted the white due to the colour connoting the themes of violence and danger, which are two clear themes that emerge in my narrative. Furthermore, the subtlety of the red, due to it being a colour that is used fairly minimally in my poster, it added to the enigma of the narrative and suggests to the audience themes of betrayal, which is a clear neo-noir convention I have conformed to throughout my narrative. The use of a tagline is the concept that it creates a memorable, dramatic phrase that summarises what the film's main themes are about. This can be achieved through the tone of the tagline, and so enables the audience to have a pre-existing idea about the narrative of the film through reading the tagline. The typical tagline is no longer than one line and is only used as a way of driving the narrative forward, as it may act as a subtle clue as to what the storyline is about. This is evident in films like The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, as the tagline used in this film poster reads, "What is hidden in snow comes forth in the thaw." This tagline introduces the audience to the enigmatic element to the film, as suggests that something or someone has been hiding away and will be found out as the film continues. It also may imply to the audience that the weather in the film is used as an element that enables the narrative to drive forward, and so they may focus more on the mise-en-scene in the film. The film Nocturnal Animals uses the tagline introduces the audience to the romantic element behind the film and acts as an indicator of the type of relationship between the two characters shown on the poster. The film Seven also uses a tagline that says 7 deadly sins, 7 ways to die. This suggests to the audience the dark and violent themes that surround the film, and further suggests what is involved in the film and the reasons behind it, enabling the audience to create their suspicions. My tagline is, "Someone is always watching." Although this is not something that is said in my trailer like the tagline in Seven or Nocturnal Animals, it is a crucial element of my poster that enables the audience to have an obscured notion of what the relationship between the two female characters shown on my poster is. It automatically creates enigma around the characters in the narrative and what their role is. Linking it to my poster, it makes the audience create a connection between the tagline and the female protagonist, as it implies that she is the one who is watching the female antagonist and produces negative themes around her character and the role in her film, which is something I felt was important to do as it gave a deeper understanding and a clearer idea of who she is, whilst maintaining the necessary enigma around her character, which was crucial in order to drive the narrative forward. The image or images used on a film poster are the most significant visual aspect of the poster, as this is what initially attracts us to the film and the poster itself. For many posters, it is initially the relationship between the audience and the characters shown on the poster, and so it is important that the image appeals to the demographics of the film. I have achieved this in some certain aspects of my poster, as it clearly shows a neo-noir convention of a femme fatale. This appeals to the male audience, my primary audience, and the predominant demographics of my audience, as she is an attractive female character and so encourages their viewing due to her various sinister character traits. Furthermore, the other female characters shown in my trailer can also be identified as being viewed through Mulvey's male gaze theory, as this theory depicts how men may objectify women in film viewing. This may be demonstrated through this female's costume, as she is wearing a short dress which opens up the idea that the males may sexualize her when looking at the poster. Also, by putting into the context of the film, she is seen as a weaker character and so allows the male audience to still feel dominant whilst movie watching, as although the male character isn't shown on the poster, the female antagonist is seen as vulnerable and naive and so reinforces Burgess' gender theory within my poster, potentially encouraging male viewing. The direct gaze of the female protagonists allow me to conform to film posters that have a strong and dominant character that they want to portray. It allows me to show her in a sinister manner as the focus turns to her serious facial expression, enabling me to incorporate the unreliable narrator convention in the poster. Due to her face taking up the majority of the page when considering the rule of thirds, it meant I was further able to assert her dominance and make her appear as a stronger, more domineering character. Examples of this are further shown in films like Law Abiding Citizen and Nocturnal Animals, as their poster also shows a more passive and active character. The location in which she's shown in, which is more of a suburban area in which these images were actually taken, cements this into the neo-noir genre, as it enables the audience to visually place the film in that genre, as it is similar to previous films that are similar in terms of location, such as Gone Girl and The Girl on the Train, which have recently been released. The location has proved to be a key aspect in many neo-noir film posters, as this often is what provides a strong enigma code in the poster, as this has been evident in posters for Shutter Island. By incorporating the two images together, I was able to demonstrate the neo-noir convention of a complex plot, which is what my film heavily relies upon and so I felt was an important aspect to include in my poster. Furthermore, by using an overlay of the two images, I was able to demonstrate the neo-noir convention of an obscure scene to a certain extent, as although the images are clear and of good quality, they are slightly distorted due to the overlay as they each obscure the vision of the other image. Therefore, this only added to the enigma that I wanted to produce in my poster. The purpose of a billing block is to recognise and give credit to the company's directors, producers, actors, screenwriters, set designers, etc., who have all played a part in creating the film. In order for me to create a convincing and professional billing block, I decided to use a billing block that was being recently used in film posters as a clear stencil to enable me to produce a convincing product. When looking at other film posters, particularly from neo-noir genre, I realised that the majority of them were placed at the bottom of the film poster. I felt that conforming to this convention allowed the billing block to remain a feature that did not draw the audience's attention away from the main image. I achieved this by placing the billing block at the bottom of the poster underneath my film title so that it could remain a slightly dull aspect of my poster. Furthermore, by placing the text in a smaller font, it also drew attention away from the title of my film, as this, along with the image itself, are the two main focuses of my film poster. Without using this convention in my poster, it would mean that not only would I be ignoring a key component to a poster, it means that the actual composition lacks a completed look, as there would be too much of the image showing, which means that it detracts from the key parts that I wanted my audience to focus on, which was both the expressions of the female rather than the actual background surrounding them. The overall composition. My film does conform to the typical rule of thirds composition, as both my characters are positioned predominantly in the middle third in the rule of thirds composition. In order to achieve this cleared layout, I utilise a rule of thirds grid in InDesign when constructing all the elements of my image. This not only enabled me to position my image in the most appropriate place, but meant that I could also place my text in places that would be positioned accurately in terms of distance away from the image and other text, and also allowed it to remain fairly central. For example, this is evident in posters like Inception, The Dark Knight, and Gamer, as these three film posters all keep to a very strict and precise composition, as they have evidently utilised the rule of thirds grid when constructing the key elements of the posters, which are predominantly the image, title, billing block, and other key components, which are all kept as very central, and doesn't distract from the main focus, which is obviously the image. Originally, I was going to place the tagline above the title of my film, however felt that this meant that the composition would lack focus and lose the title, as it was the piece of text that wouldn't be noticed by the audience. Furthermore, I noticed that the majority of neo-noir film posters place the tagline below the text, and so I decided to conform to this convention, as I felt that my poster was presented in a much more cohesive way. This is evident in films like The Gamer, as the tagline is obviously underneath and the billing block underneath there. Utilising the rule of thirds, it meant that the positioning of my text was much more in keeping with the entire composition, and enabled it to have a much more professional appearance, similar to those of other movie posters. Another convention that I decided to conform in my poster to was the use of the stars' names, clearly showing how I use Dyer's star theory in my poster, as it leads the audience to watch the film if they have previously enjoyed one of the actors' or actresses' films. I decided to place the three main characters' names at the top of the film poster. Although this meant their names were a subtle and passive feature of my film poster, it meant that I still didn't detract from the main image, however still provided the information to the audience. To further enable the audience to read and notice the names of the actors, I used a faint box behind the text, as this allowed the text to stand out against the background. The opacity of the box, however, was decreased largely, as this meant that I was able to have a more professional look and maintain the three-dimensional appearance and realism that I wanted my image to have.